Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a version of yourself that doesn't quite feel right? Maybe you're stuck in a cycle of expectations, obligations, and roles that no longer serve you. Perhaps you've reached a point in life where you realize that the person you are today is not the person you were meant to be. The idea of reinvention is not new. Throughout history, men have constantly reshaped themselves, leaving behind their past identities and emerging as new forces in the world. Reinvention is an art, and it requires the courage to disappear from your old life in order to embrace the man you were always meant to become. In this video, we'll explore the powerful journey of reinvention, drawing on wisdom from history, love stories that reveal transformation, and life principles that will empower you to shed the skin of your former self. But before we dive in, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment below. What's one part of yourself you're ready to leave behind to create space for the man you're meant to become? Chapter 1. The Power of Shedding Your Old Identity. Reinvention begins with one powerful truth. To become the man you were meant to be, you must first let go of who you were. It's an uncomfortable process, but it's also liberating. Just as a snake sheds its skin to grow, so too must you shed the old versions of yourself, your fears, your limitations, and the identities others have placed on you. Consider the transformation of Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who rose from obscurity to conquer most of Europe. Napoleon's success didn't come because he held on to his past. He shed it completely. His reinvention was radical. From a young artillery officer to an emperor, he broke free from the expectations of society and created an entirely new identity that was fueled by a vision of greatness. It wasn't easy, and his journey was marked by hardship and mistakes, but he embraced reinvention time and again. The concept of reinvention also appeared during the Renaissance, a time when brilliant men like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo emerged not just as artists, but as inventors, engineers, and thinkers who reshaped the course of history. Da Vinci, for example, was not simply an artist. He was a scientist, an engineer, and a visionary whose passion for knowledge led him to reinvent himself repeatedly. To achieve greatness, he had to cast aside the confines of his earlier self and follow an insatiable thirst for learning and mastery in multiple disciplines. This idea of reinvention is not reserved for the few. It is a universal principle that has been tested by some of history's most influential men. The truth is, every time a man rises to greatness, it is not merely the result of external circumstances, it is the result of an internal transformation. To rise, you must first fall into the shadows of your old self and emerge stronger, wiser, and better equipped to face the challenges ahead. This process of shedding is not easy. It requires emotional intelligence, the ability to understand your own feelings and to navigate the difficult emotions that arise when you confront your past self. It means embracing discomfort and taking responsibility for the person you are becoming rather than holding on to who you used to be. In relationships, this transformation is particularly evident. Think about the story of Winston Churchill, a man who faced incredible adversity but was able to reinvent himself time and again. Churchill's rise from a young, somewhat overlooked politician to the Prime Minister who led Britain through its darkest hours during World War II is a testament to his ability to shed his former identity. He faced personal failures, criticism, and doubt, but he never allowed those things to define him. Instead, he used them as the fuel for reinvention. His emotional strength, particularly his resilience in the face of overwhelming odds, is a lesson for any man who is seeking to reinvent himself. So ask yourself, what part of your past identity are you holding on to? What beliefs, habits, or relationships no longer serve your true self? To reinvent yourself, you must be willing to disappear from who you were in order to become who you were always meant to be. Drop a comment. What part of your past will you leave behind? Chapter 2. Embracing the Fear of the Unknown. The path to reinvention is fraught with fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and most significantly, the fear of the unknown. But it is in the unknown where true transformation occurs. To reinvent yourself, you must be willing to step into a world that feels foreign, uncomfortable, and uncertain. Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, understood this concept better than most. After being ousted from the very company he founded, Jobs was forced to confront an uncertain future. Rather than retreating or accepting defeat, he leaned into the unknown, starting Next and eventually acquiring Pixar. His reinvention led not only to the revival of Apple, but to the creation of one of the most influential tech empires in history. Jobs' success wasn't just about his creativity, it was about his fearless embrace of the unknown. He saw failure not as a setback, but as an opportunity to start fresh and reshape his destiny. The power of stepping into the unknown is also exemplified by the life of Christopher Columbus. When Columbus set sail for the New World, he did so knowing that the maps of his time didn't account for what he was about to encounter. It was a journey into uncharted waters with no guarantee of success. But Columbus's courage to venture into the unknown led to one of the most significant discoveries in history. His willingness to face the fear of the unfamiliar unlocked the doors to an entire new world. Had he feared the unknown, history would be far different today. Similarly, consider the incredible transformation of Mahatma Gandhi, who at one point could have lived comfortably within the confines of his privileged status as a lawyer in British-controlled India. Instead, he chose to leave his comfortable life behind and embrace the unknown by stepping into a battle for independence that was not only political but deeply personal. Gandhi's journey into the unknown was a series of reinventions as he constantly adapted to new challenges, refined his strategies, and faced enormous opposition. His ability to embrace uncertainty and continue fighting for his vision is a powerful lesson in how fear can be a stepping stone toward profound transformation. Reinvention requires embracing fear as a natural part of the process. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to harness it as a motivator. When you feel the fear of the unknown, it's a sign that you're on the right path. Think of J.K. Rowling, who faced countless rejections from publishers before her Harry Potter series became a global phenomenon. She embraced the fear of failure and rejection and allowed it to fuel her persistence. She reinvented herself from an unknown writer into a literary legend by facing her fears head-on and using them as the spark for her success. This emotional intelligence, understanding that fear is not a signal to stop but a prompt to move forward, gives you the strength to reinvent yourself. You can choose to be paralyzed by uncertainty, or you can choose to let it propel you toward greatness. The decision is yours. In your personal life, reinvention often means letting go of your old ways of thinking, acting, and even being. It means breaking the chains that bind you to a limited version of yourself. Fear will arise as you confront your past, but each time you push through it, you break free from the self-imposed boundaries that kept you from your potential. So what fear is holding you back? What unknowns are keeping you from stepping into your greatness? The world is waiting for you to step out into it and claim your place. Drop a comment. What fear will you conquer to step into your reinvention? Chapter 3. The Power of Letting Go. One of the hardest aspects of reinvention is learning to let go. Letting go of old habits, outdated beliefs, and toxic relationships is essential to embracing the man you are meant to become. The act of shedding these old attachments requires immense emotional strength and clarity. It's not just about physically letting go, but emotionally releasing the grip that the past has on you. Take the example of Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose reinvention was driven by an insatiable curiosity and a constant willingness to break from the past. Da Vinci was known not only as a brilliant artist, but also as a polymath. His mind was not confined to any one field. He let go of conventional thinking and pursued endless exploration across science, art, and engineering. His ability to reinvent himself was evident in how he never allowed his past works to define his future creations. Da Vinci didn't cling to his previous successes. Instead, he always sought to go beyond, evolving as a thinker and a creator throughout his life. Another powerful example is Abraham Lincoln, who faced failure after failure before finally becoming one of the most revered presidents in American history. Lincoln experienced multiple business failures, lost elections, and personal tragedy. But what set him apart was his ability to let go of self-doubt and failure. Instead of allowing his past to define him, he used each setback as fuel to push forward. Lincoln's reinvention was grounded in his willingness to release the burden of past mistakes and to see them as lessons rather than obstacles. The process of letting go is not just about releasing negative emotions or past failures, it's about leaving behind the very identity that holds you back. Muhammad Ali embodied this in his career and personal life. As Cassius Clay, he was a brash, controversial figure, but it wasn't until he embraced his new identity as Muhammad Ali, standing for something greater than himself, that he achieved greatness. His transformation wasn't just about changing his name, it was about shifting his mindset from a man driven by pride to a man driven by purpose. He let go of his ego and embraced the responsibility of being a champion for causes beyond boxing. Similarly, consider Oprah Winfrey, a woman who rose from a tumultuous and traumatic childhood to become one of the most influential media moguls in history. Oprah's reinvention was grounded in her ability to let go of the pain of her past, embracing the power of vulnerability instead of being defined by her struggles. She chose to redefine herself, using her platform not just to entertain, but to uplift, educate, and inspire millions of people around the world. Her success came from her ability to release old wounds and transform her story into one of empowerment. Letting go also involves understanding that what you leave behind may never return. Sometimes, in order to move forward, you have to sever ties with people, habits, or even environments that no longer serve your growth. This is particularly hard in relationships, but it's crucial. No one can carry the weight of the past and walk toward their future with strength. You have to shed the old in order to make space for the new. The power of letting go is the key to true reinvention. It's not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It requires emotional intelligence to understand that your past does not define you, and that letting go is an act of self-respect and growth. As you continue to reinvent yourself, remember that the power to move forward lies in your ability to release the past without regret. So, what is holding you back from letting go? What attachments are you holding on to that no longer serve the person you are becoming? It's time to release them and make room for the new you. Drop a comment. What will you release to step into your greatness? Chapter 4. The unseen power of persistence. As you journey through reinvention, one thing will become clear. The road will not always be smooth. It will be filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments where you'll want to quit. But in these moments, the power of persistence becomes your greatest ally. Consider the life of Thomas Edison. He is often remembered for inventing the light bulb, but what many forget are the countless failures and rejections he faced before achieving success. Edison is quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His ability to persist, even when everyone else would have given up, led him to revolutionize the world with his inventions. Edison's persistence was not just about physical endurance, it was a testament to his emotional intelligence. He understood that failure was simply part of the process, not the end. Every failure brought him closer to the breakthrough he sought. Walt Disney is another example of extraordinary persistence. Early in his career, Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity and faced bankruptcy several times before his empire took form. Yet, despite his setbacks, he never gave up on his vision. His dedication to his craft and his unwavering belief in his dream pushed him forward, ultimately creating a legacy that changed the entertainment industry forever. Disney understood that success doesn't come overnight, and that true reinvention often requires years of hard work, setbacks, and constant improvement. Then there's Abraham Lincoln once again, who faced multiple defeats in his political career before becoming president. He lost several elections, suffered personal tragedies, and endured intense criticism. But Lincoln's persistence never wavered. In fact, his setbacks seemed to fuel his resolve. His journey to the presidency wasn't a straight line. It was one of repeated failure and constant persistence. He didn't allow the failures to define him. He used them to sharpen his character and solidify his belief in his mission. J.K. Rowling's story is another powerful testament to the power of persistence. Before her Harry Potter series became a global phenomenon, Rowling was a single mother living on welfare, facing rejection after rejection from publishers. Yet she never gave up. She kept writing, fueled by her passion for storytelling and her belief that one day her books would be read by millions. Rowling's journey proves that sometimes the greatest success comes to those who endure the most rejection, who persist when others would walk away. Persistence is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. It's easy to look at successful people and assume that their path was easy, but the truth is that their success was built on a foundation of persistence. They didn't give up when the world told them to. They didn't stop when the setbacks came. Instead, they used the obstacles to build a more resilient version of themselves. As you pursue your reinvention, you will face moments of doubt. You will encounter challenges that feel insurmountable. But remember that persistence doesn't mean never facing failure. It means never allowing failure to be the end. It means continuing to move forward, even when progress feels slow, even when the odds seem stacked against you. What are the obstacles in your life that you're facing right now? What would happen if you decided to keep going no matter how difficult the path? The true test of your reinvention lies in your ability to persist. It's the force that will carry you through the toughest times and ensure that you emerge stronger, wiser, and closer to the man you are destined to become. Drop a comment. What challenge will you persist through today?